Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all well. Just wanted to give you guys a new piece on IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, what it is, who it can affect, and what we can do to manage it. So to begin with, what is IBS? So IBS stands for Irritable Bowel Syndrome, and if you're on this video, you probably already know what it is and have experienced it. But just in case you haven't, I'm going to quickly go over it. So basically, it's essentially just a collection of symptoms of abdominal pain, discomfort. Tends to get better after going to the toilet. It can be characterized also by a change in bowel habit, so diarrhea or constipation, sometimes even both. And it can just be like a really uncomfortable thing to go through. Now, it's called a syndrome or a diagnosis of exclusion, so a collectiveness of symptoms. And basically, people are told they have IBS after everything else has been excluded. So, some more serious conditions like inflammatory bowel disease. Examples include Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, allergies or intolerance to gluten, such as in celiac disease, and some more serious conditions like malignancies or cancer. And basically, the thing is, it's really nice and reassuring to know you don't have those things, and that's wonderful. But when you are left with IBS, it's still like an uncomfortable thing to go through. And I just wanted to make a quick video on some tips that I think really help people to get through IBS, including a time when I used to go through it myself. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. So essentially, more on IBS is it's basically when your bowels go into overdrive. So your bowels are muscles like the rest of your body, but it's a different type of muscle. It's called smooth muscle rather than skeletal muscle. And essentially, what that means is it's always contracted. It's just a case of how contracted it is. So we talk about variance in tone as opposed to something like our biceps or our legs, which sometimes they can be contracted or relaxed. It's more about how contracted and how frequent the contractions are in our bowels. So in irritable bowel syndrome, actually they can go up or they can go down. So that's why people can get diarrhea or they can get constipation. And it's not really understood why this happens, although it's heavily linked to stress and diet. So those are the areas really where we're going to be focusing on management. Now, like I said before, it's really good to know that you don't have a more serious condition, but it can always feel like you're taking up doctor's time and you're just going in and there's not really much they can do to help you. Because I feel like well-being and looking after yourself and reducing stress isn't something that's well taught to us. Yet IBS is something that can be really actually debilitating for people. So that's why I wanted to make this video. So IBS can affect anyone of any age at any time of their life, but I feel like it particularly affects young people, especially towards exam times, maybe university applications, interviews, that sort of thing. Um, so yeah, what can we actually do about it? So like I mentioned before, it tends to be linked to stress and diet, so it's not going to be surprising that the majority of fixes and tips I'm going to give you are going to be focused on this. Um, so like I said, stress can cause IBS because essentially there's a nervous complex within our bowels that's linked to our brain, and sometimes whether we understand it consciously or not, this can actually be stimulated by stress. When we're going through stress in our brain, whether we process that or accept it internally, or whether it happens subconsciously. Um, so one thing that can really help in terms of reducing that stress on the bowels and the nervous system of the bowel is actually to review our diet and especially look at what we're taking in. There's lots of things that can affect this. It's not understand fully, but one thing that can completely contribute to this is caffeine, coffee, energy drinks, anything like that that contains caffeine, because it's a stimulant. It does stimulate our nervous system in our brain, but it's also going to have effects elsewhere. So a good place to start if you're having problems and discomfort with your bowels, especially irritable bowel syndrome, is to remove certain foods and drinks, especially caffeine ones. A lot of people tend to say that it can be caused by allergies, but this hasn't been proven in a lot of cases, and it tends to only affect a small amount of people. But again, just have a look at things that common allergies, maybe lactose, cheese, shellfish, anything like that. Just try and see if taking those out of your diet helps, but definitely try and reduce your stimulant intake, specifically caffeine as well. Um, So the other thing I would say that's more short term that you can try and do to manage this is wake up early and try and stretch and relax. And I feel like a lot of us begin our days in a really rush and hurry to get everything moving. But if we were to just take a little bit more time and especially stretching as well and some light activity, I feel like it really does help the bowels move and relax and get ready for the day. The reason why I say activity rather than exercise is because although regular exercise has been shown to improve bowel health and going to the toilet, especially in IBS, the thing is, I feel like when you say exercise, it tends to imply really intense things, which, although in the long term they can be better, in the short term, I think they're going to stop you going to the toilet if you do like a heavy set of bench or something in the morning. So that's why I say activity. Um, so yeah, moving on to the next thing, I think just being regular with everything. So regular eating, regular sleeping, regular exercise, and plenty of fluids. There's numerous benefits this is going to have on your health, but especially your body does like routine, and it does like being in a rhythm of things, especially bowel movements. And I think that's something that's really going to help, especially sleeping regularly. It is going to help you to get more quality recovery in your body, and it's just going to help you feel less stressed as well. So yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. I feel like those are very self-explanatory. Okay, so the other thing to do is eat quickly after waking up. So this doesn't have to be something huge. Something I do, and people laugh at me for saying it, is as soon as I brush my teeth in the morning, I have a banana. And that's because there's something called the gastrocolic reflex, and that means that as you eat more food, the top of your bowels accepts the food, and then the rest of your bowels contract more to try and make space for the food that's coming. So this kind of helps push anything that's left over further down. It just helps you to go to the bathroom easier, especially upon waking up, which I feel like a lot of people, if they suffer from IBS, it tends to be either just before a really stressful situation, or it can actually be in the mornings a lot, which is when the majority of our stress comes in. So the other tip I wanted to give was to try to get to places on time, as I feel like being late contributes to a lot of stress. But I feel like if you get somewhere earlier, you would be able to also use the bathroom as well. So I think that's a good tip in general, because it helps avoid your stress. And if you get somewhere early and you need to go to the bathroom, then it's always there for you. The last thing I wanted to mention was actually talking about medications, and if you have been taking some medications for IBS and they have been helping, I'm going to tell you to pause the video now and not go any further. And that's because the medications that are given by public health for people suffering with IBS include things like Buscopan or mebeverine, and these scientifically and in theory, they're smooth muscle relaxants, so they should help the bowel, but actually in the route they're given by mouth, they've been shown in studies to be less effective than placebo tablets, and I think that's because that's for a number of reasons, and I couldn't really say for sure, but I feel like the issue of IBS tends to be more related to stress, lifestyle factors, and diet rather than a pure medical issue that can be fixed by tablets. And it's not to say don't trust your doctor or don't trust medications, but I feel like lifestyle management is far more effective for this. So, in summary, nobody really knows what causes irritable bowel syndrome, and it's not the worst thing in life. Like I said, it's a diagnosis of exclusion that you're given after all the more serious things have been excluded. But it can actually be really inconvenient. It can add pressure and a lot of discomfort to our lives. And I feel like a lot of times, once the doctor has gotten through to you and told you you've got IBS, that's the end of it. You don't really see them again. And that's fine, that's really good, but then you can be left in a position where you're not sure how to manage it. So that's really the point of this, is to give you some tips on how to manage it. And like I said, it's managed better with lifestyle modifications rather than medication. And the best way to do that are covered on this channel in other videos, but specifically in this video, it's waking up early and trying to introduce a more relaxing routine with stretching and activities, and eating regularly, sleeping regularly, regular exercise, and drinking plenty of fluids. reviewing your diet, removing certain foods like caffeine, fizzies, and maybe adding more fiber, eating quickly after wake up to try and induce a bowel movement quickly in the morning, trying to get to places on time to reduce stress, and trying to focus more on your lifestyle rather than medications. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you gained something from this. If you have any comments or feedback, leave them in the comments below. Thank you very much. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, then give me a sub. I'd be very grateful. Make sure to subscribe if you want to hear from more, and share these videos if they helped.